what's up? Hello, my name is Emma, and today's a weird day. I don't know what's going on with my brain. I don't think I'm having a bad mental health day, but I'm like, not normal. I might be bored, but I might not be bored. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm filming right now, but I thought it would be a good idea. I'm sitting on my floor. I'm eating watermelon. I swear I'm not intoxicated. I just filmed 2 videos and I was totally fine, but I took a break and now we're here. I read 5 books in the month of August, which is definitely lower than like what I've been reading recently. No particular reason. I'm not extra busy. If anything, I'm a little less busy. I'm also not in a reading slump. I just like haven't been reading as much. I don't know what I'm saying. Reading 5 books in a month is really great. I just haven't been reading as much as normal, which is fine. Don't ever feel pressure to read more books just because other people on the internet are reading more books. Just read as much as you can accomplish and that's fine. The first book I read in the month of August is Cat and Meg Conquer the World by Anna Primazza. This was sent to me for a review, so you will be getting a spoiler-free review in the coming months, which I'm really excited for because I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars because overall, like, there weren't many negatives to this book. It is all about these 2 girls named Cat and Meg who are paired up for a year-long science project together. Cat has anxiety, Meg has ADHD, and they start to form a friendship on the basis that they both watch the same YouTuber who plays video games. I personally really loved this book. I thought it was just like a wholesome, fluffy contemporary novel about friendship. I feel like it is one of the most realistic portrayals of a high school friendship that I've ever seen, from the way that it starts to form with them being a little awkward together at first, to them being very emotionally attached to each other through going through struggles of friendship and getting into arguments and then finding their way back to each other. I was also really excited to find out that Meg is actually a black teen. That's not something I actually expected going into this novel, and I'm always excited when there's like surprise representation. I also forgot to mention that it comes out in November, but if you're looking for a great YA that's focused on friendship with realistic characters, I would highly recommend this one. The next book I read in the month of August is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. As you may have noticed if you've been watching my wrap-ups, I have been rereading the Harry Potter series this summer on audiobook. I do already have reviews posted for Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, and I did film a review of Prisoner of Azkaban, which is coming soon, so you will have reviews of all the Harry Potter books for me, hopefully by the end of 2017, because God knows it's taking me a while to film these. Goblet of Fire is one of those Harry Potter books where I either enjoy it a little bit more during a reread or enjoy it a little bit less, and this one, I don't know where I stand. There were times when I was reading it where I enjoyed it more than I remembered, but there were other times where I was bored, which might just be like part of Goblet of Fire, because I feel like some of the Harry Potter books that are longer feel a little bit more lengthy and the scenes drag on a little bit, so I feel like that might have been evident in this reread of Goblet of Fire, but I think all around I just enjoyed it a lot. What else is there to say? Honestly, Harry Potter is great. Rereading it is always a fun time, even if I don't have like a perfect reread. If you need to pick me up, reread Harry Potter. I'm telling you, it'll put you right back on track. The next book I read in the month of August is There's Someone Inside of Your House by Stephanie Perkins. Over the summer, I've been trying to read the ARCs that I got at Books Expo, because obviously the point is for me to go to the event, to read the books, and then to talk about them with you guys, so I've been slowly making my way through. Oh no, there's watermelon all over my white carpet. It's okay, it's only from Bed Bath & Beyond. It was like $20, I don't really care. So I gave There's Someone Inside of Your House 3 out of 5 stars because I did enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. If you like juvenile, cheesy, slasher horror fiction, I think you would really like it. I know that Stephanie Perkins is accustomed to like writing cute contemporary romances, but I was expecting a little bit more of her on the horror side of things. I will say there are certain aspects of the horror storyline that impressed me because of my expectations of Stephanie Perkins, but there were still things where I was like, I wish this was more scary. Like there's one point in the story that's supposed to be like a huge climax important point, and I had to reread it twice because I was laughing so hard at this super scary dangerous moment because someone was naked. It's like, what? Also, it's the type of story that like isn't gonna stick with me. Like I don't truly care for the characters. I'm not gonna carry them with me for the rest of my life. Like I read the story and it was entertaining and I moved on, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. One thing that really did annoy me about this book is that like every single chapter it's alluding to the fact that Makani has left Hawaii with like this deep dark secret, and she's so worried that everyone's gonna find out, and it's like, okay, I get it. I don't need that much foreshadowing to know that she has a shady past. But other than those critiques, it was like an enjoyable book. I was happy that we had a biracial main character who is half Hawaiian and half African American. There is also a side character that's trans, and I know there was some backlash related to some of the ARC content, but Stephanie Perkins owned up to it and she spoke with her editor and it's being changed, so I'm excited to see how people feel about that in the final copy. All around, it wasn't a bad read, but I also don't think it was like really great. Like I said, if you're interested in like the cheesy horror and you like YA and you like Stephanie Perkins books, I think you would like it. It just wasn't exactly what I was expecting from this story. The next book that I read in the month of August was The Seafarer's Kiss by Julia Ember, and I read this as a part of the BiblioBookClub, which is a tri-monthly, is it a quarterly book club that I host with my friends. It's every 3 months. Some of the hosts and I have a live show discussion on the Buy No Bibliothon YouTube channel, so if you've read The Seafarer's Kiss and you want to check out our thoughts, I will leave that in the description below. I gave The Seafarer's Kiss 3 out of 5 stars. I'm thinking maybe part of the reason why I haven't been as motivated to read as of late is because like I don't normally read 2 books that I didn't love during the month. I normally love everything I read, so that could be a part of it, but I'll grow out of it soon. I was really excited for The Seafarer's Kiss because like bisexual Little Mermaid retelling, like I'm hooked. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the things I was excited for in this book like all fell through for me. First off, I went into this story thinking it was like a legitimate Little Mermaid retelling, but it ended up being a retelling of Ursula's story, which I was even more excited for when I realized that, but I still feel like it didn't hold up. To be fair, I only know the Disney version of The Little Mermaid. I haven't read the original one, so maybe it's closer to the original one, but I think most people when they think Little Mermaid, they think Disney, and that's what I was expecting. So if you think it's really close to the original story of The Little Mermaid, that's fine, but I don't know it, so I'm going off of the only representation I do know of it, and it just did not feel connected at all. Like had I not been told that it was a Little Mermaid retelling, I never would have made the connection. Secondly, I was expecting a really cute relationship between 2 girls, and the love interest is not in the story for the majority of it. For the majority of the book, she's only mentioned in hearsay, like we don't actually see her doing anything in the story, and then she comes back at the end. And the beginning of the book was definitely my favorite part. Like I thought the relationship between the 2 girls was really cute. I really liked the direction of the story, and then the middle hit and I was super bored. Then the ending happened, and like the entire pace of the story just felt different. Like it wasn't cutesy anymore. It was darker, which is normally fine, but I feel like it didn't really fit the story. One of the things I really didn't like about this book is that the relationship changed so much. Like in the beginning, like I said, like it was so cute and adorable and I wanted so much more, but in the end it becomes very toxic and unhealthy. The 2 girls that are meant to be in the romantic relationship to each other actually assault each other, and it's never challenged, and then it happens again, and it's just like... So unfortunately, I can't support this book as a romance because it was just like so unnecessarily toxic. And there were parts of the story that I really did like I said, the beginning, or the plotline of the main character trying to outsmart the god of lies to save the girl that she loves. Like that was all really interesting to me, but I just feel like it wasn't developed enough upon, and there was so much filler that was unnecessary and really brought down the story. So the reason I gave this book 3 stars is because when I look at it at a glance, I'm like, this was super fun. Like I was really excited to read it in the very beginning. I liked it as a concept, but then when I think about like the actual content of the story, I just don't think it was overall executed well, and the things that I liked weren't as present as I think they should have been, and they were replaced with stuff that I didn't like as much. So it's just one of those like personal preference things, but like all around, like I would say I ultimately enjoyed it. I just didn't love it. Final book that I want to talk about for the month of August is Nice Try Jane Sinner by Leanne Oakley. Okay. So Nice Try Jane Sinner comes out in January. I read it quite a few months early. Nice Try Jane Sinner is all about this girl named Jane Sinner who has recently been expelled from high school but enrolls in a local community college as a part of finishing her high school degree. So as Jane is starting community college, she really wants to distance herself from her old life back at high school. She wants to move out of her parents' house because she doesn't necessarily agree with their religious values anymore. And so she gets the opportunity to partake in a campus reality show called House of Orange that provides her with rent and gives her the opportunity to win a used car. So it's all about Jane's experience at community college after leaving high school, distancing from her families, questioning her faith, starting out college, and being on this reality show with a variety of different people with different challenges and different obstacles in her way. I gave Nice Try Jane Sinner 5 out of 5 stars because although I feel like my enjoyment of it was maybe like a 4.5, I think it does deserve 5 stars for just the all-around construction of the story. The reason I dock a star or a half a star is because there were certain parts of the story that I wanted to be expanded on. As you can see, for a contemporary book, it's not that tiny, but like I wanted more of the reality show. I wanted more challenges. I wanted more about Jane as a psychology student. I wanted to see more of her adapting to college life, and a lot of that was just overtaken by just like general day-to-day stuff at the reality show. So it's not that there was anything wrong with the story whatsoever, it's just the parts I really liked I would have liked to be a little bit more expanded upon. One of my favorite things about this book is that the humor is so funny. This is literally the best dry humor I have ever read in YA. It's so funny and nihilistic, like I loved it. I always love books that aren't totally focused on romance, although there is a somewhat love interest in this story. It's definitely more focused on Jane as a person and her personal character growth. I do want to put a trigger warning on this book for depression and suicide. It is not a mental health book. This is not a huge part of the story, but I did not know that going into this book, and I would like to extend that courtesy of knowledge to you guys if that's something that you are like very triggered by. It's really not a huge part of the story, but I think it needs to be said. And also, I wouldn't necessarily consider this a content warning, but if you are a very dedicated Christian and you are uncomfortable or angered at the thought of somebody critiquing your faith, I might stay away from this one. Like I said, this is a book about a girl who is leaving a Christian household and questioning her faith, and she does do a lot of critiquing of the Christian faith. So if that is something that makes you uncomfortable, maybe stick away from that one because you'll probably be upset. But maybe you are a very religious Christian and you would like to see somebody else's viewpoint, maybe you would enjoy it. Just wanted to put that out there. All around, super worthwhile read. Would definitely recommend it. I feel like a lot of you guys who listen to my book recommendations, and like we have a very similar reading taste when it comes to contemporary novels, I feel like this is one that like a lot of people are going to enjoy. So I would really recommend it. Again, it doesn't come out until January. I will be talking about it more as the months go by, but I just wanted to give you a little heads up that I really loved this book, and I think you should definitely add it to your TBR, reserve it at your library, or pre-order it because it's going to be a good one. Well, I mean, it was a good one. I read it already, but I think it'll be a good one for you. So that is it for my August wrap-up. This was a shit video. I'm sorry. I'll be back to normal in my next video, I promise. Let me know in the comments of this video what was your favorite book that you read in the month of August. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!